The Iran nuclear deal, an Israeli war with Hamas, and the rise of ISIS. All of these world-altering events have taken place since Passover of last year. That's when the first in a series of 4 blood moons appeared in the sky. We're now approaching the last of these blood moons. And as Eric Stakelbeck reports, some believe it could be a signal that God is getting ready to move on the world stage.
It's called a tetrad, 4 total lunar eclipses appearing in close succession just a few months apart and turning the moon into an eerie blood-red color. These tetrads have been a rare occurrence throughout history, yet we are now in the midst of one. It began in April 2014 on the Jewish holiday of Passover, when the first blood moon appeared. Soon we'll see the final blood moon on September 28th during the Jewish Feast of Tabernacles. The final blood moon comes as a nuclear deal with the Iranian regime is being finalized, a deal that could lead to a Middle East war.
The day America turns its back on Israel will be the day God turns his back on America. And the day we validate this Iran nuclear deal as signed, sealed, and delivered will be the day we stick our finger in the eye of God.
Pastor John Hagee is author of the best-selling book 4 Blood Moons and appears in a recent film of the same name. Hagee believes the current tetrad of blood moons is a sign from God to the world that something major is about to happen involving Israel, with Iran's drive towards a nuclear weapon being a possible trigger.
President Obama says this Iran deal is going to prevent war. Seems like it may be doing the opposite. Do you think we're heading towards another big Middle East war potentially?
What the United States of America has done in the Iran agreement is to guarantee war. Iran has been saying for years, we're going to wipe Israel off the map. They had the will to do it. Now that the Obama administration has paved the way for them to get a nuclear weapon, they've given Iran the power to do it.
Hagee notes that the 3 previous tetrads of blood moons, all falling on Jewish feast days, have coincided with major events for Israel and the Jewish people. In 1492, the Jews were expelled from Spain, and Columbus discovered America, which would become a safe haven for the Jewish people. In 1948, Israel was reborn as a nation, and in 1967, Israel recaptured Jerusalem during the Six-Day War. Blood moons are mentioned in Scripture, including in the book of Joel, the book of Revelation, and the book of Acts.
The prophet Joel writes the words, "And I, the Lord, will cause the sun not to give its light," that's a solar eclipse, "and the moon shall turn to blood before the great and notable day of the Lord." Genesis 1:14 said God is using the sun, moon, and stars to send signals to mankind. God used the stars to cause the Magi to find Jesus Christ. Joshua, when they were in the battle of the 5 kings, commanded the sun and the moon to stand still for almost a day.
Hagee believes the current tetrad of blood moons, coming during Jewish feasts while Israel's enemies are on the march, is no coincidence.
The evidence is very clear scripturally that God controls the sun, the moon, and the stars, that God is sending us a signal through the sun, the moon, and the stars. The question is, are we listening?
From Cornerstone Church in San Antonio, Eric Stakelbeck, CBN News.
And Gordon, the 4th blood moon will be on September 28th. That's quickly approaching. What are your thoughts on this?
My thought is we need to pay attention to the calendar of the festivals. And the current festival we're in, this is the Days of Awe, Rosh Hashanah, leading up to Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And in that, the Jewish people, and I would say all believers everywhere need to follow this. We examine ourselves. We spend time living in tabernacles, understanding that our time here on earth is very short. We are just sojourners here. And are we ready to meet him? And the Vidui prayer that is prayed every Yom Kippur, I encourage everyone to do that inventory. Are you right with God? Are you living in accordance with his precepts? Are you doing things from the heart that are an abomination to him? And if you are, turn from that and turn to him. This is a wake-up call for all of us to say, are we right with God? Are we ready for his return? And if we are, then let's look to the heavens. That's what Jesus said. When you see these various signs, look to the heavens, for your redemption draws nigh.